Just keep talking.
All right. I think I could be louder.
Just keep talking.
All right, so yeah, like Gary said, he wanted the youth group to do the testimony, and yeah, I guess today's my day. I've told my testimony 8th grade year when I was confirmed here, and I've told my testimony, I know for sure, in Mr. Davidson's class almost every year. In the beginning of the year, he's always wanted anybody in class who wants to share the testimony, feel free. And honestly, I love sharing my testimony, so I'm going to make it short. I have written my testimony like 3 or 4 times because I get really nervous, and I don't know if you can tell, kind of. But, so, a little bit about me. I'm pretty sure most of you guys probably know, but I was born and raised in Ethiopia, and that is in Africa. Africa is a continent, and then Ethiopia is a small country in there. It's just on the east side, near Somalia, Kenya, Sudan, if that kind of gives you a picture. I lived there until I was about 12 years old. Almost 13 is when I came here. When I was around, I want to say when I was around 9 or 10, I was adopted by a Mormon family, and yeah, well, I had no idea what that was, but I was just really excited to have a family, because I've been in the orphanage at the time about 3 years, and I have seen hundreds of kids getting adopted, leaving, and some of them were my close friends. But I was like, all right, I'm going to be next one of these days. So about 3 to 4 years was when I was confirmed that I had a family. So I was really excited, and the adoption process takes a really long time. And I was like, all right, I don't really care because I have a family now. So it took about 1.5 years, and it was almost complete. And the parents that adopted me, they also had adopted another girl from the same orphanage. And about right before they came back they have to come back. The first time they come back for a court, and then the second time they come back to confirm everything, and then they could take you. So right before they came for the second time, something happened in the adoption process, and I'm not 100% sure, but what I was told was the family that had adopted me wanted to only keep me and leave the other the other girl that they adopted, which she wasn't my sister, but she went to the same orphanage, and they didn't want, for some reason, I still don't know why, but they didn't want to keep her, and they just wanted to have me. So that did not go well with the orphanage, and they were very upset, so they had to tell her that she can't pick and choose, which is right. So then I was told about a couple months after that they had dropped me, and I was back into looking for a new family, and they tried their best to tell me, hey, like, it's fine, hundreds of kids here get adopted like every year. But for me it was different, because I've already been waiting there about 4 years, like I said, and it really hurt when I got the news that I didn't have any family anymore. And that was probably when I really, really struggled with my faith. A little bit, backing up a little, before, I was born in a northern part of Ethiopia, in an area, it's just farmland pretty much. And when I was about 2, I went to the capital with my aunt, and she pretty much raised me, and she was like my mom. I even called her mom because I had no idea who my mom was, but her. And so she put me in the orphanage when I was about 6, and the lucky thing is, unlike a lot of those kids, they would just get dropped off and parents would leave. But my aunt worked there, so that was one of the reasons that got me through that hard time, was she was there to comfort me and tell me that it's all right, like, she's been praying and there's going to be another family. So it took about another 1.5 years until I was told that there was another family that was looking for me, and I still wasn't sure. And once my parents right now, John and Cece, when they came back to adopt, when they came first time to adopt my little brother Zemedy, I was introduced to my mom. At the time I didn't know, but I just really felt like I was really attached to her, and also she brought Jack, who's my older brother at that time, and we just really, really had a good connection, even though it was really hard to understand because I didn't really speak good English then, and he didn't speak Amharic at all. But we just, even though we didn't understand each other, we just had a lot of fun at the orphanage. So what I was told was when Jack came back, he asked my parents if it's all right if they could adopt me. And about a couple months later, they, I think my mom had sent an email to the orphanage that I was at, and I was told that I possibly could have another family that would take me. So that was just really exciting for me. I was like, and at that time, the orphanage was kind of getting smaller and smaller, and they stopped getting more kids. So I was kind of getting scared, and after I was told that I didn't have any family, I was kind of, at that time I was like 11 or 12, and that's when you kind of, the orphanage tries to prepare you to go into school and just get like ready for your life, even though it's a young age, I know, but that's what they did. And I kind of had given hope, I had given up on really looking for another family. I still wanted it, but I was like, this is not gonna happen. So I started focusing on school, and so once I found out that I was having a second family, I didn't know what to think, because before I really had pushed away from God, because I was like, I've been praying all this time, and I can't believe you just backed out of me. And right now, thinking about it, I'm really glad it happened, because I would not have liked to be with a Mormon family now that I know more about it. yeah, I've learned a lot, and yeah, I'm really glad I'm out there. But yeah, so it took about another year and a half. I don't know why, but the process was really, really long. And so about when I was 12, almost 13, I was adopted with my parents, and I came here on March 25th. And I've been here about 6 years now. And so when I came here, I still had a hard time understanding. I didn't really know, but I love talking. I will talk all the time. I'll ask questions. And some of the times it didn't make sense. Even one time, actually, I think it was like a year after I came here, I asked so much questions. My parents wanted to give me like a little book to just write down the questions there. And I didn't know how to write, but sure, I'll try. But I just had hundreds and hundreds of questions. And there were times where I didn't really make sense, but I still had a question, and I didn't really understand either. But so right when I came here, I was homeschooled the first 2 years, and I remember my mom wanted to tell me about the Lord and stuff, and I already knew about the Lord because I was already in the orphanage. I was already introduced to God, and I did believe, but I really didn't know much because at the time I was only 12, 13. So the first year I was here, I was homeschooled, and my mom pretty much just went through, I think it was just John. She wanted to go through the first, she wanted to go through the New Testament, but we pretty much only did John. And that was when I really grabbed on to God, and I understood what was going on. And so yeah, that was my first year here. And then the second year, I remember I finished school pretty early in like May, and I would go to visit Parkview, which was at Helmer, and my mom told me I could either shadow every day, and I was about a month, I was out about a month early before the actual school days go out. So I would come here almost every day and shadow. I would be either Jared or Zach or another kid who were here. I would just constantly come here every day because I didn't want to stay home and do school. So she said you could either stay home and read, or she'll just drop me off here. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. So I came here. I came to Parkview, even though I didn't really go to this school. I shadowed about pretty much, I want to say like a month every day. I just came here. I didn't really have to do the school because I already done with school. But yeah, and that was when I pretty much got to know Jared. Since then, we've been best friends probably. That's when we really met. And he pretty much kind of introduced me to basketball. And I don't know if you know, but like the rest of the world, I love soccer. That's the real sport. In America, it's different. But yeah, I played soccer ever since I was little. I mean, even in the orphanage, we didn't have soccer ball, and we would just roll up anything and use it. And like even when my dad came, he bought us balls, and the next day it would either be over the fence or on the roof, and we would make up anything just so we could play soccer. And so when I came here, I loved soccer, But I remember in PE classes, nobody wanted to play soccer. They always wanted to just play basketball. I was like, I guess I'll give it a try. And that was when I started playing basketball, and that's how I had connection with Jared, and we got along pretty well. He, like I said, he introduced me pretty much to basketball, and then my 8th grade year, I came to Parkview, and that's when I also stepped up on my faith because I went to Bible class with Mr. Davidson, and I thought I had known already a lot, but then I don't know, there was just more and more. And like I said, I loved sharing my testimony, and I remember, in 8th grade year, he had asked me to do it, and I was like really, really nervous. But I'm like, I have to share my testimony because my mom's always told me even to share because she was like, it's a cool story. So I'm like, fine, I'll do it. But yeah, when I came to Parkview is probably when I even grabbed to the Lord a lot closer with Miss Davidson's class, and there was another teacher, Mr. Johnson at the time, who he taught me history, but it felt like a Bible class, and it was awesome. But yeah, so like I said, I've been here about 6 years. It's great. I like it here, and I still talk with my family back home. I have an older sister who's about 21, 22, and as of right now, I didn't really say this earlier, but she was in the orphanage with me. That was another time where I struggled with my faith, was when she was about 16 or 17. That was like the age when you for sure have to focus on school, and they sent her to a boarding school, and I had a really hard time because she knew me better than anybody, and so yeah, after she went to boarding school when she was about 16, I kind of like I said, I kind of just faded away. I didn't know who to talk to, but there's always kids there. There's tons of them. So right now, my older sister is in Lebanon, and she had to get a job after she finished boarding school. She wanted to be a teacher, but right now in Ethiopia, the economy's not really great, and she couldn't really find any job. So she got contact, like she has a lot of friends, I guess, around that place, and she was able to get a job. And I talked to her not every day, but like once a week for sure, and everything sounds good there. I don't know what else I'm missing, but that's pretty much my testimony. And also, this coming up summer, I'm going to be going back to Ethiopia for about, I want to go like a month, but my mom said like 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I'm hoping. But yeah, that is my testimony. Sorry, it's kind of everywhere, but.